Franklin Delano Roosevelt, January 30, 1882 to April 12, 1945, often referred to by his initials FDR, was the 32nd President of the United States, serving 4 terms from March 4, 1933, to his death in 1945. He remains the only U.S. president to have served more than 2 terms. Roosevelt is widely regarded as one of the most influential political leaders in American history due to his leadership during 2 of the most critical periods of the 20th century, the Great Depression and World War II. Born into a wealthy family in Hyde Park, New York, FDR was the only child of James Roosevelt and Sarah and Delano. His upbringing was privileged. He received a private education and traveled extensively. Roosevelt attended Groton School, then went on to Harvard College, where he graduated in 1903. He later attended Columbia Law School but did not complete his degree, instead opting to enter public service. Roosevelt began his political career as a member of the Democratic Party. He was elected to the New York State Senate in 1910 and served as Assistant Secretary of the Navy under President Woodrow Wilson from 1913 to 1920. In 1920, he was the Democratic vice presidential candidate, running alongside James M. Cox, but they lost to the Republican ticket of Warren G. Harding and Calvin Coolidge. In 1921, at the age of 39, Roosevelt contracted polio, which left him paralyzed from the waist down. Despite this significant setback, he remained active in politics and worked to regain strength, eventually developing a public image of resilience and courage. In 1928, Roosevelt was elected governor of New York, where he gained national recognition for implementing progressive reforms. Building on this momentum, he successfully ran for the U.S. presidency in 1932, defeating the incumbent Herbert Hoover. Roosevelt took office amid the Great Depression, which had devastated the U.S. economy and led to widespread unemployment and poverty. Upon taking office, Roosevelt launched an ambitious series of federal programs and reforms known as the New Deal. His administration implemented a range of initiatives to stabilize the banking system, provide relief to the unemployed, and stimulate economic recovery. Notable New Deal programs included the Civilian Conservation Corps, CCC, the Works Progress Administration, WPA, and the Social Security Act. While some critics viewed the New Deal as an overreach of federal authority, it received widespread support for mitigating the worst effects of the Depression. Roosevelt's charismatic leadership, fireside chats, and willingness to experiment with economic policies solidified his popularity. He was re-elected by landslide margins in 1936, 1940, and 1944, becoming the longest-serving president in U.S. history. Roosevelt's presidency was also defined by World War II. After initial efforts to keep the U.S. out of the conflict, the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor in December 1941 led the nation into war. Roosevelt played a key role in shaping the Allied strategy, collaborating closely with British Prime Minister Winston Churchill and Soviet leader Joseph Stalin. Under his leadership, the U.S. became a crucial force in achieving victory over the Axis powers, establishing the nation as a global superpower. Franklin D. Roosevelt died on April 12, 1945, at the age of 63, just months before the end of World War II. His leadership during both the Great Depression and the war left a lasting impact on the United States and the world. He is often ranked among the top U.S. presidents for his efforts to expand the federal government's role in ensuring economic security and his vision of an international order based on collective security and human rights. Roosevelt's legacy includes the strengthening of the presidency, the establishment of social welfare programs, and the foundation of the modern American state. His efforts to promote international cooperation paved the way for the creation of the United Nations in 1945. His combination of political acumen, optimism, and resolve in the face of unprecedented challenges secured his place as one of the most significant leaders of the 20th century.